Hello, and welcome to Two Chicks in a Horror Flick. My name is Michael Myers. My name is Felicia Connor. For everybody that is listening to this, okay, Tawny Ray is here as well and laughing her ass off. We attempted really our best. In my opinion, Tawny looks amazing. We did our best, and we were going to be our favorite slasher for this episode. You know that my favorite slasher is Michael Myers, and I agreed to do it thinking I could wear a mask. And then Tawny is going to be Chucky, or Tawny is Chucky. And so, we were having a conversation, and she's like, no, bitch, you can't wear a mask because we won't be able to hear you. And I was like, oh, shit. And, to be fair, that was my out right there. I could have said, I can't do it. And I'm like, nope, I'm going to try to do makeup like Michael Myers. And it's pretty ridiculous. So if you're listening, you might want to just open up YouTube to see what it looks like. I was really nervous when we first started. I was like, I don't want this to live forever. And I'm like, screw it. I told her next year I want to be something pretty. But I did do some shading.
Yeah. Your shading is impeccable, really. I mean, it does look like The Mask, for sure.
I told her I should draw some little red circles and it'd look like that dude.
Jigsaw.
Or,
I don't know if it's technically Jigsaw, but the little Jigsaw.
Little guy on a bike.
on a trike or whatever. So welcome again. And I'm Tawny Ray, but I today am Chucky.
Yeah.
And I also did my best. But you know what? That's okay. This will be a dry run for next year. I thought I thought I'd be able to pull out a better result, but
she looks good. I look like the most hideous man. Okay. It's good though. It's good.
I mean, the thing is we both picked not cute things, right? I mean, I know I've seen women do, I looked up some Chucky makeup that other people had done that were pretty versions of Chucky, but that's not how I roll. I wanted to be actual Chucky.
I literally pulled up a Michael Myers mask.
Yeah. I think you spot on. You did it. Is it flattering? No.
No, it's hideous.
But
it is hideous.
But it's not supposed to be.
I almost thought of wearing a low-cut shirt for the first time so I could look a little feminine with this hideous thing. Oh, God. Okay. Today we are talking about 31. Rob Zombie's 31. It was so awesome, by the way, when I logged into the meeting, Tawny just laughed for felt like 10 minutes straight. I'd never seen her laugh so hard. It was awesome.
I cried. I laughed so hard I cried. Now I have the giggles, and so I apologize. I'm going to keep laughing, I think, as we go. But it was so funny to log in and see both of ourselves next to each other. And we always look the same, And so today, obviously, we're trying to look very specific to these characters, and it just cracked my ass up. I couldn't take it.
I love it. You look great, Tawny. When I walked out of my room, my husband saw me and burst out laughing. And I'm like, fuck, that's not good.
What did he say? Was he
He just laughed. That's it. He just laughed. And then I went to tell the girls to get the dinner out of the oven when the alarm goes off. And one of them gasped. And I was like, oh, that's good. And she's like, oh, I thought you were a man. So not which is good, I guess, because I'm supposed to be. But it wasn't ooh, you look scary. It was just I thought you were an unknown man coming into the room.
An unknown man. A ghost of a man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Man, you know what? We did it. We did our best, okay?
We did.
I told Felicia she gets to pick it next time.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to be this really cool-looking, dirty witch. So.
I think that was the witch from Suicide Squad.
Yes, it was. I was excited, We'll have longer hair next year, so. Yeah. All right, guys, enough of that business. Tawny, first, remember that spoiler alerts ahead. Tons of spoilers. We're going to ruin this movie. Well, And then we also curse. So, if you know us, you know it. But if you don't, You don't. Now you do. And we talk about horror, blood, and this one. Whoo, child. This
Oh
was,
my God.
oh
I
my
know.
God. But Tawny, Ray, what are you drinking today?
So I got some whiskey, and I got a new type of whiskey. I think it's Bullet. It's spelled weird, but
Bullet rye?
I didn't get the
Bullet.
rye kind. I got the Kentucky bourbon whiskey because last time the bottle that I got is that Buffalo Trace that your husband suggested to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really good. So I just looked for the same type of whiskey just to try something else. But this is like really, really strong. Like the other one was strong too. They're both like 90 proof, but this one has like a much stronger flavor that I'm not necessarily a fan of. I'm going to go back to Buffalo Trace, I think, after this. But
My
yeah.
husband's
What about
had
you?
that before. I remember. So I spent so much time on this impeccable Michael Myers mask that I just grabbed a beer really quick. He just bought these. It's like an Oktoberfest beer by Flying Fish. I have no idea. I literally just grabbed it.
Okay.
And here we go. Let's see. White crap.
Oh,
everywhere.
no.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Oh,
When I took my earphones off, guys.
Oh, no. Yeah.
But you know, it's really bad as I was getting really into it, and I'm like, the mask covers his whole head. So I did white makeup all over my ears, all over everything. And then I sat down and I was like, oh, shit, I need to wipe that off. All right. Anywhoozy. Okay, let's talk about this movie. We are talking about Rob Zombie's 31. And this was made in 2016. The director, Rob Zombie. Excuse me, sorry about that. Okay, the budget for this movie was $1.5 million.
Damn.
And the box office did $850,000.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
wow. So it was pretty much scored a 5.1 out of 10 and a 47% on Rotten Tomatoes. And let me tell you the little snippet of this. 5 carnival workers are kidnapped and held hostage in an abandoned, hellish compound where they are forced to participate in a violent game, the goal of which is to survive 12 hours against a gang of sadistic clowns. All right. You know what? Before we pop in there, let me just tell you we have Sherry Moon Zombie again as Charlie Girl, Jeff Daniel Phillips as Roscoe Pepper. We have Lawrence Hilton Jacobs as Panda Thomas, Meg Foster as Venus Virgo, and then Kevin Jackson as Levin Wally, Malcolm McDowell as Father Murder. And I recognized him, but I don't know what else he's from, but I recognize. Oh, he was just in the movie we just watched. Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
Or the movie we're going to review,
next.
Leia.
Yeah.
Jane Carr is Sister Serpent. Oh, I like these names. Judy Geeson was Sister Dragon, and then Richard Brake was Doomhead. And then there's lots of other, I don't know if you want me to name all the clowns that were in it. Nah? Okay, cool. Doomhead seemed to be like the main man, so. All right. Tawny, Chucky. What did you think about this movie?
I have a lot of mixed feelings. I don't know.
I did too, so I'm excited you said that.
The shit was all over the place. I would say that I didn't hate it. Shockingly. I shockingly didn't hate it. But I also don't think it was like, there was a lot going on. There just was like, it was a weird viewing experience. I feel like it started off pretty good, and then it got like really dumb for a minute, and then it got like really good, I thought, for a handful of minutes, and then it just tanked again for me. So it was like a fucking roller coaster of a viewing experience. And yeah, so I'm like lukewarm on it, kinda, just to land in the middle. You know what I mean?
I'm on board with you 100%. I didn't hate it. There was that roller coaster situation I agree that I felt as well. And yeah, I'm very lukewarm on it. So something I really liked. I liked the location. I thought all the sets, all the rooms, like all the different stuff, I thought that was pretty cool. It was like really visually like, holy crap, all of
Yeah.
that. I thought that some of I liked the clown makeup minus that really tall guy in a tutu. I mean, he wasn't
Yeah.
very scary. It was just bizarre. But I liked all the makeup of the different people. And I liked the idea of these rich, privileged, people doing this
Despicable.
yeah, like
Awful.
it's like Hunger Games, right? Or like
Yeah.
any of those type of ideas where you're pitting these people against each other or hunting people. It's creepy. The only problem with is I did not find those people creepy at all. The rich people that were putting
Oh,
it
yeah.
on. Like, I like that they're like, you remember that movie Eyes Wide Shut with Tom Cruise? And they went, it's like a sex movie, but they went and they had these masks and stuff, and everyone was like, kind of, it was creepy feeling. These people with this Marie Antoinette stuff, and like, she would talk, oh dear, who?
I know.
I was like, what the?
Yeah. It was
So-
so weird. That part was so, I mean, there were a lot of parts that were weird, but for sure the like, weird high society people that were like, yeah, I also was like,
Let's get as many naked models just to stand there around us three as well.
yes.
I'm fine with people being naked. I'm saying it was just so weird.
It was so over the top. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so that's your final verdict. Super lukewarm.
Sorry. I was super lukewarm. Yeah. I thought I loved the 70s. I absolutely like the clothing and everything. I loved the soundtrack. Wow. I love Rob
Yeah.
Zombie in his movies. I really love his soundtracks. They're really great. I liked Charlie Girl. I liked her character, her strong character. I pretty much wanted to punch her in the face when she picked up that music box and started playing music randomly in the middle when they're trying to hide, and she's wandering
Oh, yeah.
around like, "Oh, I'm being nostalgic." Just shut the fuck up. That was stupid. But I like her. I really liked, this is so silly, when the one lady, Venus Vixen, she was like, "Let's barricade." I'm like, that's
Yeah.
my girl.
Mhm.
I think I've mentioned it before. I'm a barricader. One way in, and my weapon is pointed at that one way in, and we're just gonna do that. I totally would be hiding in the bathroom.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I that's the part of this movie that I liked, was the survival aspect of the movie. So like the very beginning scene with Doomhead, I was like, okay, this is a little over the top, but like I feel good about this, maybe we can come back from this like a little bit over the topness. And then we were like with them for so long, just traveling, that kind of lost me, and I was like, what is I don't even know what's happening here. So that part dragged, but as soon as they got in that place and they had to like survive, I was like, okay, I'm about this, because that's like, I really like survival movies. And so I agree, when you see her, Charlie, right, she's like hiding in the bathroom, I was like, ooh, that's smart. And I thought she was even like, she had her feet up on the toilet seat so that like if anybody walked in, they couldn't see her feet underneath. And I was like, ooh, that's smart,
Yeah.
And so I liked that part of it, like that whole scene of the surviving and how they make decisions. I was also like, yeah, barricading would be the best option. I thought,
Yeah.
okay, maybe you could take some time to like walk around and try to like get your bearings and like assess the lay of the land. But these people who are like hunting you obviously know this place better than you do. So you don't even have enough time to do that. Like I talked it out with Jade and we were like, yeah, no, you'd have to barricade.
If you could survive and wait it out for 12 hours, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The barricade is the best option. I know they wanted to try to find a way out. It was stupid that they ate that food. Come on.
I know.
Come on. It was a good reaction with the one guy though vomiting, but
yeah, that was
oh,
dumb.
I felt really. I thought this was a good disturbing part was when that girl was tied up on the mattress
Yeah.
and they're so fucked up in the head. They don't know. Should we let her go? Like, we feel like she should. She looks really messed up, but maybe not. Like, maybe this is a decoy. Like, and they were really struggling with that. And that poor girl. I thought that was good.
Yeah.
Hey, those guys that were all about raping those brother clowns. Was that the guy that was in Rob Zombie Halloween?
Oh, you know what?
Those
Maybe.
guys, those guards. I
Yeah.
think maybe they were. I could look it up, but like that, they reminded me of that.
Now that you say that, yeah, maybe it was. They did seem familiar. So, interesting. Yeah, that part was interesting to me too. I liked that whole scene because, you've obviously got one person in the group who's like, we can't leave her, and then somebody else who is like, absolutely not. This is totally a trap. And if you were a group of people, you would definitely have those two sides, you know, playing at each other. Like, so I liked that also. I mean, it was a violent, gross,
It was
terrible
so
movie.
gross. So this is what I have at the very top of my notes. Demented, so fucking gross.
Yeah.
that is the review there with quotes that would come up.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, this is like, I feel like Rob Zombie always. Like, he really knows how to push your, like, that is terrible buttons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like him for that because I'm affected by his movies in the way that I am supposed to be affected. Like,
Yeah.
it does what it is supposed to do for me. It doesn't mean I enjoy the viewing experience as much. You know what I mean? Like, it's gross. And so that part was like really, yeah, there was a lot of moments that you were just like cringe. It was,
Yeah, there's lots of nails in the head, nailed clubs
yeah,
to the head, lots of chainsawing people apart. There's lots of so I wasn't scared. But I was significantly grossed out. Like, and
yeah.
the sounds of just the and the blood and the sawing through bodies, and yeah, it was really really gross. I just wasn't particularly scared by it.
No, me either. I mean, I like the idea of this, and it's one of the
Mm-hmm.
reasons why, spoiler alert, Hostel is one of my favorite movies, is because the concept is so like scary, and it is like, theoretically could happen. You have like an elite set of people who are willing to pay money to actually go in and murder people. Like, that scares me.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think I just, the concept kind of resonated for me, and I liked the survival aspect. I was like judging the shit out of them constantly. But I couldn't believe how long the scene was where they were fighting those guys with chainsaws. I was like, somebody swipe their fucking knees or something. Like, I was just like, go low. Like, what are you doing? Like, there's only so many times somebody can swipe a chainsaw. There's 2 against 1. Yes, he has a chainsaw, but do something, Like, I was just like, okay, guys. I mean, I don't know what I'd do in that situation, I guess, but
Yeah, Rob Zombie called this his most brutal film to date.
okay.
When it was made, though, in 2016.
I
That's when
feel
he
like
said
Devil's
that.
Rejects is worse. And
Was that before or after? Do you know?
I think it was, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was way before.
Okay, then he felt like this one was more brutal.
I think maybe part of it for me is the fact that what I did like about this movie is that you're following the group of people who are supposed to be your protagonists. Like, they get trapped and you like want them to survive, right? Whereas, like, I feel like in Devil's Rejects and some of Rob Zombie's other movies, it's been a long time since I've seen House of a Thousand Corpses, so that's why I'm being hesitant on that. But like Devil's Rejects, you're following this insane group of people, watching them do terrible things, and it's like relentless for that. Like, there's no one to really, anybody they come into contact with, it feels like there's no hope. So that movie left me feeling depressed and awful. And at least this had like, I mean, you know, at the end, it's definitely not a happy ending either. But at least like we got to follow and root for the set of people that were like the quote unquote protagonists, you know? Like I think that's what I liked about it.
At first, when I first started watching it, I thought they were going to be the murderers.
Me too.
Yeah. So once they arrived and saw those like scarecrow type things, I was like, oh shit, they're the people that are going to be hunted. I thought they were going to be, and he probably did that on purpose because they were being elusive of what show they were going to put on. And I was like, oh, they're the bad ones. Rob Zombie said that the reason he set this movie on Halloween was because he heard a statistic which stated that more people go missing on Halloween in the U.S. than any other day. And he thought it would make an interesting premise for the film.
Oh.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
And that's scary.
I like that a little bit more even, because it is sort of like, okay, where are these people going? Somebody picking them up? Forcing them to fight other people?
He said he wanted a very nasty, gritty, guerrilla-style approach to filmmaking. I would say that's... So at first when that woman, I wrote it down, then I crossed it off once I realized who she was, but that blonde woman that approaches him at the gas station and she's like, blah, 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 like a baby. I'm like, okay, where is this like little... sex kitten blonde chick out in the middle of the desert? Like, where the fuck did she come from? But then seeing her later, I crossed that off because I just thought that's just a stupid, let's just throw in this like little sexy blonde chick randomly at this decrepit gas station. But she ended up being one of the clowns and I liked her outfit. It was pretty cool. So
yeah. I was like, shit, maybe we should change our Halloween costume to this. I told Jade, that's what we should be, is sex and death for Halloween.
There
you go.
Oh, it's too much white.
Yeah.
I was going to try to be, what's this guy's name? Buckethead? Drillhead?
Oh. I don't even know, dude. There were so many names like that.
Oh my God. His
Psycho Head.
The one that was at the end. All I need is some blood.
Oh yeah.
Dude, what
Doomhead.
was his name? Doomhead. Yeah, how could I forget Doomhead? Oh my God, that scene where he's having sex with that. Oh my God. Before they call him in and he's having sex with his woman or whatever. And I was like, oh my God.
I know.
Oh my God. It's so crazy. It's so crazy and violent. This was Rob Zombie's first crowd-funded film.
Oh, okay. Something that I really liked about, I'm kind of going backwards. I'm going back to Charlie, but I liked how they like underestimated her in the beginning, and she ended up being the one to survive out of everybody.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm a fan of that, the underdog, right? But I did like that she was, and I like how she just immediately was like, okay, here we go. Like, this is what we're doing. Like, I'm going to kill them. And so she's got a hold of that girl, Sex or whatever is her name she's a bad person. And she's like, you can't do this. And she's like, just slits her throat without hesitation. And I was like, I mean, shit, you're in this situation. It's them or you. Like, you got to protect yourself. So I liked her character, as I felt like she was, and the other woman, Venus.
Mm-hmm.
They were for sure fighter. I mean, so was everybody else, but like
except that one dude. Okay. His name, he was Roscoe, Jeff Daniels. He had the long dark hair.
Okay.
And me and my husband were totally laughing. It's probably really hard for you to look at me right now because I smeared my makeup.
No.
But he barely did anything but kept going. Like, he was stabbed. He was totally drenched in blood, but kept going, but literally didn't help. Okay. He didn't help at all. If you think about it, he barely fought. Even like when the one where he kind of did with the one girl sex, but not, because then Sherry Moon Zombie came. or Charlie came, he was just always bleeding in it. Even when he puts her, this just cracked us up. He puts, sorry, I'm itching. He puts her in that thing that goes out, the tunnel or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm so
I
itchy.
know. This was so dumb.
And he puts her and he shuts it and he's like, "You're going to have to get through me," or whatever he said. He literally just like, the guy just goes, boom. He collapsed. He gently grabs his foot and it's done. It was like a hot second.
He like swung at him with, I think he had like a crowbar or something, right? Like he swung at him, but like it was not even a good swing. It was like, bro, aim for the head or something. Like he was just like, whoop. And I was like, oh man, that really pissed me off too. I was like,
yeah, that was like, okay.
And then he was like, I'm done.
Oh,
Kill
shit.
me.
I tried, but she's in there.
Right.
She's in there.
You saw where she went, but
yeah, you saw where she went, but
I'm gonna die now.
I gave her a couple minutes. Sherry Moon Zombie, this is kind of random, but I thought it was interesting. She was in the middle of quitting smoking during filming, which she said added to the whole misery of her character.
Okay.
This whole thing was shot in 20 days. You know what's something I noticed? That every single person, I actually wrote it here, the death of everybody took so long.
Yeah.
And every single person spasmed. And I remember so my husband watched this with me. And because he never watches these with me, but he did watch this one and he did watch the Michael Myers. But I looked at him, I'm like, is that a thing? Like, do you spasm when you die? Does like everybody spasm when they die? And he's like, I don't think so. So I just noticed that because every single person, spasmed. And
it was like that.
It took forever to die as well.
The only one that I think made sense was maybe the chainsaw, right? Like the chainsaws maybe would move your body as it was like tearing through you or something.
I mean when they were lying there and they're like,
It was a lot. There was a lot of that, and I agree. It felt like overdone. Like one or two times, you're like, okay, great. Like that's nice, realistic, Because I don't like it when people die and they're just like, like, I mean, it depends on the way that you die, but I don't know.
There's some really good dying in some movies, just really believable where you're like, ooh. Like maybe in a movie we're going to be reviewing soon coming up. There was some really good dying I felt. The home movie footage of the carnival workers, I loved that. I did put that on here, that old footage type thing. I just find that really cool. That was all shot on Rob Zombie's portable phone.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I liked that part too. It was like kind of nice, and I don't know, that it felt very Rob Zombie to me. Like I was just like, okay, yes, like this is happening. And then you've also got like I'm getting a little bit off topic, but it just reminds me, there's all these like transitions where, it'll kind of have like a film border and it'll move out of the way and bring in the next thing. Like that, I feel like is definitely a Rob Zombie thing.
Yeah.
For those of you listening, Felicia is slowly taking off.
I'm literally using this old t-shirt. So I think I look scarier now than when I first started. I'm sorry, Tawny. I hope she still loves me. You know what? This is the first Rob Zombie movie I've seen, I believe. I looked it up to see. And I don't think I've seen another Rob Zombie movie before this. So hopefully people don't hate us for this. Or not hate us, hate me. They're not going to hate you.
Nah, I didn't love that. I feel like I like Rob Zombie, and for the sole fact that I like Rob Zombie, I was okay with this movie. But like, he has better movies in my opinion. Like,
did he do Guardians of the Galaxy? Oh, he was in it. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't even think I saw that Halloween 2. I'm not sure, but okay. I really did like the murder world. I thought it was scary. It was like being placed in that world, you really didn't know which way was up, down, left, right. Where is even out? Where do I attempt to even go? That was pretty creepy. I liked that.
I did too. And then, like, we get towards the end, though, and I like how she escapes, but then he, like, finds her, and then he doesn't kill her because the time has run out. But I also just didn't take this guy to be, like, somebody who follows the rules, so that was, like, weird to me. And then it's like, what is she gonna do? So she's, like, walking around, and then he comes across her at the very end, and, like, gets out of the car, and they just have a stare down, but she's, like, she's on her last leg. She's about to die, and he's there with his 2 knives, and it's suggested that he kills her. I wanted him to get out of the van and be like, do you want to ride? I thought that's what was going to happen. And I was really disappointed when it didn't, because there was definitely, like, comedic elements to this movie. I did find myself laughing a couple times, not, like, hard, but there was some shit that was just so ridiculous and over the top that I just, like, couldn't help but, like, laugh at it. And I was just expecting a little bit of comedy at the end, and no.
I really thought he was going to ask her for a ride, or if she wanted a ride too.
What the hell?
It's over.
Yeah.
But the one thing for us talking about how we would barricade ourselves in, it ultimately wouldn't even matter, because those people weren't going to let anybody go. Because remember, he's like, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. You know, this has never happened before. We never had someone, survive.
Oh, yeah.
So don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. And they just end up hunting him down.
Shit, I guess that makes sense, huh? They can't have any fucking survivors going and telling people about it.
Yeah, because here's the thing. They might not be able to find it, but if... Just hold on a second.
Okay.
All right, I'm back. I just had to wipe some of it off because it was stinging my eyes. I look absolutely insane. I
you have a whole
my
like
cut
white
up
cast
shirt. Yeah, you know what? But we're just gonna keep going with it. During Richard Brake's performance as Doomhead in the opening monologue, he barely blinks his eyes in the single shot close-up. The first time was 45 seconds in. Then he doesn't blink again for 61 seconds. And it really added to the overall discomfort of the scene.
Yeah, that makes sense. I liked that first scene. But when they reintroduce him later, I was like, okay, I'm fucking done. This is irritating. He was like, wait, I mean, he was over the top in the beginning, but, like, he was scary and mysterious, and they, like, lifted the veil, I think, too much, and when he came back, he was just, like, over the top, like, confident, like, way, like, he's, like, hot shit around there, and I just didn't like that. And a lot of the things he said once he was reintroduced and trying to hunt them down, I was like, kill me. This is stupid.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought he was scary in the beginning. Obviously, his sex scene was scary. And then and then when he was punching himself,
yeah,
that was like, I was like, oh my God, this guy's gross.
Yeah.
And then he wears that Victorian outfit and he's kind of going around and his sunglasses. All right, boys, I've got it from here. I agree.
Stupid. It's like we got another Poughkeepsie tapes situation happening here where it's like,
God.
Please kill me so I don't have to listen to you say poetry at me.
Oh, that's right. When he came out and I don't have it written down. I'm sorry, but he says this thing. Oh,
yeah.
You know what? When he was putting on his makeup and he was listening to classical music, I thought that was dorky because I love classical music and I like it mixed with scary horror type stuff. But he was literally into like this heavy metal, like when he was having sex, like that, and screaming and stuff like that. And no, I am like this scary, refined man.
Yeah.
But then he punched himself, and I thought, okay, that's creepy, but yeah.
Yeah. A miss when he comes back for sure.
Yeah. There's really not too much to it. When I was doing research for this movie, there was only everything I just told you. That was really all there was. Some tidbits. It was really short, because some movies I go in, it's like pages and pages, and I have like 6 pages of single space notes. I have to highlight things and all of that. This one was really really not that much. I just keep looking at Tawny because I just am not even looking at myself. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, there's just not a lot to say about it.
There's
I feel
not even a lot to say about it. What do you say? Like, a lot of people get killed and cut up, and it's gory.
yeah, and
I mean,
it's like a Rob Zombie special for sure. Like it's definitely his movie. And I don't know why. I mean, I guess I can try to put my finger. I think what I liked about this movie was the survival aspect. That was really
yeah.
it. But it's surprising to me that I didn't hate it, because I'm spoiler alert, when we get to the ratings, I'm going to rate it pretty low, but I don't like things that are so highly stylized to the point where they feel really like dumb. Like, I don't like stuff that feels like a 12-year-old boy came up with it and it's like his idea of what that would look like. And I feel like there was a lot of that in this movie. You get like, like you were saying, totally nude people walking around, weird high echelon, like upper echelon people wearing Marie Antoinette style clothes and stuff. And
Yes, Tony.
that person's voice, she must be from something famous. Like, I was like, for sure I've heard this person's voice, but I couldn't place it. I definitely know that girl, Sex, was E.G. Daily, who does like a lot of voiceover work. She's like, I think she's Bubbles, and the main, like, My Little Pony girl. Like, she does a lot of voiceover work. Yeah, so as soon as I saw her name in the credits in the beginning, it was just like a lot of that. And then the villains themselves were so over the top and crazy. They all had like weird names and weird outfits, and like it just was so fucking over the top. But we got like halfway through the movie and I turned to Jade and I was like, "Are you hating this?" And he was like, "No." And I was like, "Me either, shockingly. Surprisingly, I'm not hating this." And so I think that says something. But Jade was like, "I have had to unlock and get in touch with my teenage boy self to be able to, like, to appreciate this."
That is such a good way to put it. This is totally like a teenage boy wrote this movie, and, let's sprinkle some naked women in here. Let's just gore, gore, gore. That's such a good way to explain it. I love that.
Yeah. But I didn't hate it, so
girl,
I don't know.
I'm so curious. What is your score of this movie?
I'm gonna give it like a 2.
I have the exact same down.
Score, okay.
And I was going back and forth because I didn't hate it, but I wouldn't watch it again.
Yeah.
I didn't like, it was really hard. It was really hard. And I feel like, you know what I feel like? But a polar opposite. I feel this episode is like our creep show episode. Remember where we were like, "Sorry guys,"
There's not,
I just don't know what else to say.
We were like at a loss, and we're at a loss again here. And I think, I do agree that this butted up with another movie, Halloween, that we were watching and debuting this. Felicia wrote me and said, "I can't wait to watch Halloween, the original, again, because that's going to feel like a fucking family film after this."
Oh, and I did.
Yes. And I think you're right. That juxtaposition is stark.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh. Wow. Yeah. So we didn't hate it. I know a 2, but if you remember, a 2 would be a D. Yeah. So it had an opportunity to at least get a passing grade, but so it was like a D. If you want to watch it, I mean, go for it. Again, we didn't hate it, but it's just and that's one of the things, just gore, 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 gore. And I don't know, it just doesn't do it for me. I want to feel more. I want to connect more. And ultimately, I would love to be scared, or laugh. I would love to be moved emotionally, because I think of Tucker and Dale. I loved that. I loved it. Yeah. Sometimes I think back and think I should have given even a higher score than a 4, but I absolutely loved it. It was not scary at all, but it was funny. Yeah. And then there's other movies that, just, I like to be moved emotionally. I'm just going to put it that way. And this, I just, I don't know. Well, I guess disgust is an emotion.
That's true. Definitely felt that.
It's not my favorite emotion, I guess, because
I don't love feeling that either, unless
Yeah.
it's like super justified. I mean, again, I'm like referring to Hostel here. We haven't even talked about it yet, but there's like a lot of disgusting moments in that movie, but I think there's like a weight to it. It's like super scary. It's like visceral type. And this is just, it just feels a little bit like it's gory for the sake of just being gory. And so like if you're like I wouldn't recommend it to people unless they were like a major Rob Zombie fan and they like wanted to see his other movies and stuff. But yeah, it's lukewarm.
lukewarm. Sorry, guys, lukewarm. But hang with us because on Friday we are releasing our Halloween head-to-head. So it's the original Halloween versus Rob Zombie Halloween. So insanely excited for this episode. I just cannot wait. I did already watch the movies. I'm not going to leak anything out of the bag, but I can't wait to talk about them. And we are going to leak anything out of the bag. I don't know. The bag is leaking. I'm sure that's not the thing you say. Let the cat out of the bag. The cat's dead. It's leaking. We are going to have Josh from Horror Movie Crew podcast on our episode. So it's going to be our very first guess. Okay. This makeup, I think, is seeping into my like cerebral blood. My cerebral blood. See, I just can't right now. Okay. Josh, Horror Movie Crew podcast. We can't wait. We're so excited to have another person join and have a discussion, and especially about these two, the epitome of Halloween. That's the name of the movie, is Halloween. So it's the perfect autumnal movie. It's the perfect autumnal movie. I learned a new word from Tawny, and so yeah.
Yeah, hang with us for that. Yeah. Sorry we didn't have much to say about this one, but we have a lot to say about the next two. So, hopefully you will enjoy that.
You know what, guys? It ebbs and flows. Like, you don't want us to forcefully fill an hour with garbage just to fill an hour or two with a movie we just weren't feeling, and there wasn't that much to say about it. So, you know? Yeah, so that's it. That's all I got. Definitely tune in. And if you haven't, so let's see. If you haven't already, we are going live this week in the Creative Commute Community Facebook group. So it's Wednesday, so we've already been doing it Tuesday and Wednesday, but hey, we'll be in there tomorrow. So go to the Creative Commute Community, or if you go to our Instagram page or Facebook page, the link in our bio has a link to that Facebook group, and we're going live. We have some awesome just topics to discuss and also some really cool activities.
Yeah, it'll be super fun. And this is with our friend Jennifer Liss, who runs that Facebook community. And it's really, really cool. So definitely check that out.
Oh, yeah. She does so much for in that group, for that group. Like, really impressed.
Super active. Oh, yeah. She puts her heart and soul into that group. And it's really neat. Like, really cool creative prompts and things. So definitely check that out. And we're excited. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be totally fun. All right.
Yeah. So find us everywhere.
Oh, we are. Yes.
We're Two Chicks and a Horror Flick everywhere except for Twitter, which is Two Chicks HF. Two Chicks HF. And please leave us, if you like this podcast, please leave us a review and subscribe and tell a friend maybe. Do a bunch of cool things. And before we sign off completely, I just want to say cheers that we got to 750 downloads total.
Hell yeah!
Cheers.
750. Cheers.
Great. I don't know what I was going to say there. Great job. Great job, us. Thank you so much for listening, really.
Gosh, thank you so much. I know I say this all the time. We started this. We are so excited to do it, and it just absolutely makes our hearts explode that other people like engaging with us. That's really, really just...
It's so fun.
Cool. It's so cool.
Oh, and we also forgot to mention our Patreon. So definitely check out our Patreon. We have 3 awesome fun tiers where you can get exclusive perks and support our podcast. So definitely check that out if you like us. And I guess that's it. So hope you enjoyed our costumes and happy Halloween.
I promise next year. I promise I will do a better job and I will not wipe it off halfway through. I promise.
Okay, I'll hold you to that. Have a good night and have no nightmares.